what he did was he came here in case for some reason they arrest me and take me to the dungeon. And I'm in the cell now, right this minute. And what happened was I came in here and I spoke with Judge Kevin Waldo. That's his name. He graduated from Ironton High School in 1973. He then went to Northern Ohio University. They have a particular name that they call it. I just had a 15-minute face-to-face meeting with Judge Waldo, and not only was he personable, he was also genuine with me. He shook my hand, and we had a conversation. I'm in the Ironton courthouse now. I wanted to give these people some privacy. I didn't want to film their faces because they're not guilty of crimes. They've only been charged with crimes. That doesn't mean that they're guilty of a crime, and that's why I didn't show the whole waiting room that I'm sitting in here. So just so you guys know, and this is just an overall message to everybody, Judge Kevin Waldo is more than responsive to the public. Judge Kevin Waldo listens to the public. He took a 15-minute meeting with me. As a matter of fact, Judge Waldo, what he did was he printed out here. This is the Ohio Judicial Code of Conduct for judges, because I've asked Judge Waldo to intervene in this case with the Ironton Police Department because he's from here. He takes care of children who are going through drug rehabilitation. He has a foundation for children. He's a strong supporter of the military. So Mr. Waldo and I, on a few different points, certainly line up because kids shouldn't be going to a dungeon for drug offense. Getting help, counseling, and education. So Judge, and what this is the Rule 2.9 ex parte contracts and communications with others, and this he was letting me know that he couldn't speak to me about an ongoing case, and he presented it to me. But let me show you guys something else. This is Judge Waldo's second chance recovery banner that he has here in the courtroom. And when I came in here, just so you guys know, I ran into one of the cops who you're going to see on video today named Fouch. Now, Fouch has cauliflower ears. He's just really out of shape. But I offered Fouch to meet me down at the gym at 2 o'clock. Initially, he agreed, and then he changed his mind and said, no, I'm not going to. Of course you're not going to. Because when you see what Fouch did to these people, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Now, I only have a few scraps in me, so I want to make sure that the scraps I have, where I'll be injured for most certainly, are going to be worth my while and worth my time. Getting Fouch, who has 2 cauliflower ears, to meet me in the gym was something I was willing to do. So I guess I would just, I just jumped on just for a second because I want people to understand that when you take an oath to the Constitution and then you lie, then you break your oath to God and to the Constitution and to everything that you stand for as a person. And that's what this person did right here. She's a liar and a fraud. She is. And her parents should be ashamed of her for what she's done on camera. She said she didn't see anybody grab me yesterday. It's on camera, her watching. Disgusting. We watched the video back last night. So I would wish you a good day, but I don't think you're going to have that. Okay. I'm going to grab a coffee, Rick. Yeah, I'm sorry for you can't. It's not your fault. You can't speak because I'm. Fouch was there, and as a man, as a human being, let's go to McDonald's and grab a coffee. You can ride with me. When Fouch was there, he's a man, and I saw him, and his ears were cauliflowered, and then I remember the video of him dominating Sarah when she called 911. You'll see the video today. When she called 911 for help, for someone to help her, when Fouch showed up, instead of helping her, he drug her out of the car. Sarah called when she was pulled over on one of the 5. And by the way, on the live, I said 6 yesterday. It's 5. I edited the video down. I was up till 3 in the morning, and I'm sorry, I was up till 4 because I got 4 hours of sleep, and I woke up at 8. I got 4 hours sleep the last 2 nights and now they put her case forward until Monday. So that's in. I want to get back to Dallas for Yunez's birthday, but I don't know if that's going to happen because that's day-old coffee. But I needed something to wet my whistle. So just so you guys know, and I want to reiterate this, Judge Kevin Waldo is receptive to the public. I'm just telling you guys that so you know. Judge Waldo answers phone calls. Judge Waldo answers his Facebook page. Judge Waldo returns people's communications. I'm just letting you guys know that. That's all I'm saying. That's what he does, though. And when I spoke to Judge Waldo, and Rick was right there, I said to Judge Waldo, you are the true custodian of justice. If you read the Federalist Papers and you understand the role of judges in the founding principles of America before there was Tenney versus Brandoff that gave judges complete immunity, Tenney versus Brandoff, 1951. The idea of the judge is that the judge is supposed to be for justice. Put the McDonald's in your map, will you? That way they don't have to hear it, and I'll just drive over. I'll drive you back too. The idea of the reason why we've given what is called a magistrate, the reason why we gave them so much power was so that they could be true custodians of justice. And, oh, I look like a schmo. I had to get here to court this morning. Sorry, guys. I didn't work on my own appearance this morning. I apologize. I didn't shave either. I just had to get to court. I didn't want to leave.
Starting route to McDonald's.
That's good. It's fine.
Head northwest on South 3rd.
I just need a coffee. I need a solid coffee. I wish there was a place I could get an espresso around here. Is it? Will you look on that map and see if there's a place I can get an espresso that's not McDonald's? Just look up an espresso shop instead.
I don't know how to do that yet.
Just put it espresso and just close that map and then put espresso in your search. So Judge Kevin Waldo takes phone calls and he talks to the public. His foundation for youth to help them with their drug problems, if you dig into it a little bit, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Judge Waldo told me he doesn't want to send people to the dungeon. And then we had a talk about that, about whether it's a jail or it's a dungeon. And Judge Waldo and I had a very, and just so you guys know, when you speak to a judge, you better show some deference. If you speak to a judge in a court of law, you better show some deference, because that judge can do anything to anybody at any time. You understand that? The judge's power in the United States of America is unparalleled. There's very few positions in the world that have as much power as a judge on the bench. I'm telling you guys this for a reason. If you're ever arrested and you face a judge, your job is to make sure that you endear yourself with that judge, because that judge has the power to lock you away. And if he's wrong, he has complete immunity, total immunity. He cannot be prosecuted. I want you guys to understand that. So when you speak to a judge, especially in their courtroom, you better show some deference. Any luck on that espresso?
Go right there.
Boom. Okay. So now her court case is not till Monday. I don't know if I can stay here that long. I'll look for an Airbnb. A couple of people, Richard and Alan, yesterday. Richard and Alan both sent me some money. So when they sent me some money, I went and rented a hotel room. You know, I have I've spent quite a bit of cash here to get this done, and that's fine. I don't care, because this is what I'm doing with my life. But I don't know if I can stay here for a week. I can look for an Airbnb maybe. I'll go look for an Airbnb in this area, a place I can stay for a week. Oh man, that's that was the redhead cop. That's that redheaded cop. That's Acre. That's Cop Acre right there. Put your seatbelt on. Your seatbelt's on. Let me go pull around. I wonder if I can get it. Wonder if I can go speak with this cop right here. This is one of the tyrants right here that held up Sarah and Tim. Road pirate. That's what that guy is. Let me just pull over here and see if I can have a conversation with this man here. He's taking a left. I'll take a left. Let's see if we can have a face-to-face with this gentleman. Let's see if we can talk to this cop. I want to ask him what he thinks his job is in America. I want to ask him what he thinks he's doing. That's what I want to know. What do you think you're doing to people, dude? That's what I want to know. Because the thing is that for so many years, these guys have done nothing but harass us, treat us like garbage, treat us like that they're a pirate and their job is to take our bounty out of our pocket. That's what's going on in the United States of America. And it's ubiquitous, not just here in Ironton, across the country. So that cop took a left. Where's he at? And that's how they've treated us. He took a left on this road, didn't he?
Yeah.
Look that way. Do you see him up that way?
I never did see him to begin with, but I would have.
I don't see him either.
Was he walking?
No, he was driving his car.
Oh, I didn't see him.
I just want to ask him what he thinks his job is, because I have him on video acting like an absolute tyrant. I want to know what he thinks he's doing. I want to know what he thinks his position is in this world. As a man, they dominated Sarah as she cried. They put her in handcuffs, and he's one of the guys that put her in handcuffs for 30 minutes and stuffed her in the back of a car. Where'd that tyrant go? I want to talk to him. Who does he think he is? See, when you take an oath to the Constitution, as I've taken an oath to all of y'all, I swear to God, I swear on my soul, I'm gonna get truth and I'm gonna get justice, and I'm not gonna stop. Under any circumstances, we don't stop. I don't care. So, her court case is on Monday. I'm still in my head trying to figure out. I'm gonna make sure I gotta stay here. I can't leave. I can't leave where there is corruption. I can't leave where there's an open wound. There's an open corruption going on right now. There's an open corruption. It's a gaping sore, and I have the ear of Judge Waldo, where he understands that I'm watching, and that I will document everything. I got that coffee yesterday. I really need a fresh coffee, but I had to get to court early, so I had to get there before the judge's chambers opened. So
Straight ahead. Should be up here on the left.
okay, I don't see that little tyrant. If you got Ironton cops, if I find you, I'm putting you on camera. And Fouch, who's got the cauliflower ears, brother, I'll meet you at the gym, and you and I can have a good workout. And you know what? If you can beat me, Fouch, I'll shake your hand. I'll pick you up off the mat. Make sure your teeth weren't knocked out, and then, because we're going full contact, Fouch, full contact. I want to show you the true depth of how angry I am that you did that to Sarah. Okay, this is okay, great. Let's go get a decent coffee here.
You want to get to go? You want to do that?
No, let's just walk in, because I want to make sure that I want to stay in this area, because that little tyrant's driving around here. So this is an open invitation to Fouch. Fouch has got both ears cauliflowers. I'm sure he's a pretty good wrestler in high school, but the thing is that he's not training. He's not training. He's out of shape. He's fat. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to fat shame anybody. I come from a grossly overweight family. My family's no, not anymore. My sister lost all of her weight. My sister recently lost 70 pounds or whatever it was. Hey, so did I read your espresso machine's broken?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Is there a place I can get an espresso in this town?
Not that I know of.
Can you make me a super strong coffee? Something close to espresso? That would be, and whatever Rick wants as well. You want a coffee? Okay. The original saying is actually black and bitter. Just like I like my women, but but I changed it to hot and black. Yeah, why be negative? Why not just be positive?
It's $2.50, please.
One sec. Let me grab this.
Yeah, we had an espresso machine right before this one. That one imploded inside of it.
These are my eyeglass cleaners.
Oh, you're fine.
And this, put this where?
Card. Just insert it at the top.
Is this coffee strong?
It's pretty strong. I just made it.
I don't know. You gotta show me the light here, Captain. Oh, okay.
And then you hit one of those buttons, and it should be able to enter.
There you go. You did a great job, dude. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I put quite a bit of coffee around it.
Oh,
and
shit.
It should be super strong.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here.
I think you might be able to hit skip if you don't remember.
No, I remember it. Okay. So now we go outside and, hey, do you have any, have you noticed have you had any problems with the police in this town? Because that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You have problems
So, well, not so much the older officers, but the newer cops
with the newer cops?
are a little crooked.
Which cops have specific Blankenship or Fouch or?
See, I don't know a lot of their names. Blankenship sounds familiar for sure.
He's got a brother too. They got the Blankenship brothers on there, and then
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
Pam Wagner is the chief, and she's corrupt to the core. She said she watched the videos, and she's an absolute tyrant. So but you've had problems too.
A little bit, yeah.
You've been
I haven't
followed.
really
You've
had
been
any-
trailed.
A little bit, yeah. I've had.
You've been pulled over for no good reasons.
Not pulled over yet. Now the old cops, I have got pulled over quite a few times, but they just kind of like let me off.
Well, they're just checking to see if you're drunk, trying to see if
right.
they can smell weed and try to arrest you. But if they can't openly arrest you for no reason, well then.
See, yeah.
No,
But
it's
yeah, there are some crooked cops down here.
it's ubiquitous, and so I'm here investigating this town, and anybody who you know who's been abused by the police. My channel's called Delete Laws.
Oh,
If you know of anybody who's been abused or cheated by the police, I want to hear your story.
Sweet.
My channel, Delete Laws. When you just
Delete
put
Laws.
that's on YouTube. You put it in there. I answer every email
Gotcha.
in case someone got hammered. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I got you.
If you guys have
There's
any
probably
stories.
plenty of people around here that's got hammered.
Oh, you think there's plenty of people around here who've been
I guarantee it. You just walk out on the streets and you can find people that's been hammered by the cops. I mean,
really,
yeah. It's,
really.
It's something. This is the town. I don't
So the
know.
cops are out of control here, is what you'd say, pretty much.
Well, a lot of it is they're trying to fix up the town, right?
Fix up the town by doing what? How are they trying to fix up the town?
So,
Do you
like-
want to be on? You want to be on camera?
Not.
Okay, I'm not gonna put you on camera then. You guys, you notice I don't put people on camera. I don't put the county clerks on camera. I don't put anybody on camera unless I ask them, pretty much. Unless they're a tyrant and they go on camera immediately.
But yeah, they're just trying to. I guess they're trying to get some more money in for like building benches, trying to make it look nice around here.
So excessive fees.
Yeah.
It's a violation of your Sixth Amendment.
Yep.
Excessive fees, and you're being excessively feed.
Pretty much. I can.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you guys know someone. You're probably sitting over there like my cousin got abused by cops. You're probably,
Actually, I'm a very sheltered child, so I don't really.
yeah.
She grew up over in Russell,
Yeah.
Okay.
so Russell's a whole lot different over there. than-
Russell's nicer than here.
Yeah, for sure.
These cops, Blankenships and Fouch and Asher. I got you guys on camera doing civil rights violations. So, all right. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. God bless you guys. Have a good day.
You guys have a great day.
There's a hammer out here on the ground. Okay. Watch your six. These guys will try to charge you for walking in the street here. You know, that's how far it's gone. It's gone so far that if you step on a street in America, if you step on a street, if you travel in the street and you step into the street, then what happens is the police will charge you with a crime. They'll charge you with a crime, and then once they charge you with a crime, they can arrest you. And so people will say, oh, you can't be arrested for that. The 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, you guys can look that case up. I implore you all to know the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. And in that case, Gail Atwater in City of Lago Vista, Texas, she was driving down the road with her children, and a train. And what happened was, Gail Atwater was driving down the road with her children. And I don't know the population of Lago Vista, but if one of you guys can type down in the comments what the population of the city of Lago Vista, Texas is, that would be very helpful. And so when Gail was pulled over for the second time in a month by the same tyrant, what happened was that tyrant decided to teach Gail Atwater a lesson, that he was going to arrest her for not wearing a seatbelt. And so when he went to go arrest Gail Atwater, this is a fairly small town. She's trolling along, and she says, I'm going to arrest you. The cop says that to Gail. And then They go to arrest her, and they're going to call Division of Family Youth Services to take her children away. The neighbors come out and say, you're not taking her kids to DFYS, Division of Family Youth Services. And instead of that, the neighbors take the kids, and that cop arrests Gail Atwater. Now, when you get arrested for simply stepping in the street, when the cops have the right to arrest you for not wearing your seatbelt or stepping in the street, what that does is it gives someone absolute power over you. If I can arrest you for not wearing your seatbelt or you crossed outside the crosswalk, that's called despotism. Despotism. And what that is you give one person absolute power over you, and it's applied in a cruel and unusual way. Well, if you get arrested for stepping in the street or for not wearing your seatbelt, that is what's called despotism. And so you figure that when Gail Atwater's case, when her case goes to the Superior Court, up to the Appellate Court, and then it's filed for certiorari, meaning that they want the Supreme Court to hear it. When it gets to the Supreme Court, surely the 9 appointed justices are going to see in 2001 that Gail Atwater is arrested for not wearing a seatbelt, and they're going to strike that down. No. The Supreme Court justices then uphold Gail Atwater's conviction, and then her conviction applies to all of us. That cops can arrest you, and this is David Souders' holding, that he writes the holding in Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, and what it says is that if you violate the law in front of a police officer, even an infraction of the law, spitting on the sidewalk, littering, crossing in the street, not wearing your seatbelt, even an infraction of the law, that the cop can arrest you, kidnap you, take you to a dungeon, and it is not a violation of your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person. That's the Supreme Court we have. That's why I want to stay in touch with Judge Kevin Waldo, because he seems like a good man. And he went to Ironton High School, so this is his town, this is his place. This is his stomping grounds. There's Work Lion. Work Lion, thanks a lot. I checked into a hotel last night. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your support, Work Lion. Work Lion is a major supporter of this mission, and I appreciate you, Work Lion. I just want to call you out publicly and say thank you, along with Alan. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate you guys supporting what we're doing. So if you can be arrested for walking in the street or not wearing a seatbelt, how is that the land of the free and home of the brave? How's that? How's that possible? So that's the population is 7,000 people there. So that means that it's about as big as this town right here. It's about as big as this town right here. This population is 10,000. Hey Rick, thanks. Rick is just a citizen. He's not an auditor. He's just a citizen who showed up here. He showed up in case I was going to be arrested. I gave him my name, my date of birth, and a contact person to call in case they took me to the dungeon. Because when you face a judge, just so you guys understand, and I'm just going to repeat myself here, if you face a judge and that judge decides that you have disrespected him, he can, without any regard to anything else, without any charges, without anything, the judge can imprison you on contempt of court immediately. You guys have to understand that. When you speak to a judge, and I see people in court and they're like, oh, the judge is a dick, and they say things like that to the judge, dude, do not talk back to the judge. You have to endear yourself to the judge, befriend the judge because of the constitutional powers given to the judge. So if you haven't ever heard of the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, then you might not know that flicking that cigarette butt on the ground is arrestable. You might not know that spitting on the sidewalk is arrestable. That if the cop decides that you're using obscene language, not vulgar language, there's a difference in the court cases, then he can arrest you. If you cross the street outside of the crosswalk and the cop wants to arrest you, he can arrest you. If Rick and I have a back and forth and Rick for 1 second believes that I'm going to start violence, the cop can say he arrested me to stop violence. So I want to be clear. I want to be clear. You can be arrested in America for absolutely anything. And by the way, and then the cop, if he arrests you unjustly, he has immunity, qualified immunity is not our biggest problem. People who put it in the comment section, in qualified immunity, I almost want to delete your comment. That is not our biggest problem. It is Tenney versus Brandoff, which gives judges and legislators immunity, and it's Terry versus Ohio. Those are our biggest problems. Qualified immunity is down the line. You have Graham versus Connor in front of qualified immunity. So I just want to be clear on that. Graham versus Connor is the use of force policy that cops create around. So let me give you guys a little bit of 411 here. Here's how it works. I want to give you guys the actual understanding of the origins of law. Here's how it works. Let's use Terry versus Ohio. Terry versus Ohio creates the mantra that cops can violate your rights literally. That's the holding. They even say during the Terry v. Ohio oral arguments that it certainly could be an assault, but maybe not an arrest. That's what they say during the hearing. You can listen to it on my channel. So what happens is a policy is created called judicial activism at the Supreme Court level. Now, once that policy is created, what the cop shops around America do is they then create policy around a policy. It's not legislated by the legislators and then signed into law by the executive of your state or by the executive of the country. That's not how it's working. The courts, the Supreme Court specifically, creates a policy, and then the police departments, they decide how they're going to implement the policy. So when you have officer safety, the cops can lightly pat you down, and this is the Terry rules according to Cuyahoga County Judge Bernard Friedman. He's the one who writes, he's the trial court judge for John Terry. He actually writes the Terry holdings, which is just preposterous. And by the way, I have researched Judge Bernard Friedman, and I get to a place where he's connected to some racist people, but I can't find a direct connection to Judge Bernard Friedman of Cuyahoga County, Ohio, and him being a racist, because Terry versus Ohio is a racist holding that's now applied to all of us. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So I'm gonna get back. Let me finish this. So I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna go. So with the combination of Terry versus Ohio that says for officer safety we can do these things, what the police did is they created policy around detainment, because specifically what Terry does, and someone asked me this the other day. Was that you, Rick? You said give me no, I'm sorry, that was a car thief. What Terry specifically does is it creates the policy of detainment. Specifically, that's what it does. During the Terry v. Ohio oral arguments, you can hear the judges with the lawyer Reuben Payne for the state. He's talking back and forth with the judges, and what Terry does is it creates this magical little space called detainment. Because you can hear Hugo Black. He wants to figure out a way to punish people if you don't answer questions. And I've let out 2 different clips of the same thing with Hugo Black, and he says specifically, well, what if he wants to do something less than arrest him? And the man can just go on off and not answer questions. So why would a Supreme Court justice say a man can just go on off and not answer questions? Because up before 1964, black people didn't have the same civil rights, civil liberties that you and I have. They didn't get them. You weren't allowed to have those rights. So when you hear Judge Hugo Black in 1967 during the oral arguments of Terry saying to the representative for the state, Reuben Payne, saying, well, what if he wants to do something less than arrest him and the man could just go on off without answering any questions? Hugo Black, who was a lifetime member of the KKK, he's thinking about black people don't have rights. And you can be mad that it was based on racism, but the exact same thing is now gunned down in the streets by police than black people, but in ratio, in percentage, it's far higher. And so now the police create a policy around detainment. It used to be, according to the Terry rules, a light pat down on the front of your body to see if you have any weapons that could hurt the cop. What that has turned into since 1968 is a POW style of arrest upon suspicion of you. It's turned into this. Get on your knees, look away from me, crawl forward, and if you don't, we'll kill you. That's what Terry v. Ohio has become. because because Terry v. Ohio allows police to detain you, to stop him where he is. I have the right, and this is not arrested according to the Supreme Court. It's arrested. It's arrested. And so when I have the right to detain you and the Supreme Court has created this magical space where you can be detained, then the police stations create Terry policies of what detainment means. I want to be clear. I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear. Okay? So, you guys do me a favor, hit your like button if you would. I gotta try to promote here. And then listen, you guys, everybody should have my trifold. The big problem that Sarah and Tim had was they talked. You need to have that trifold. You can get it for free. There's a free download code. For those of you who can buy it, please buy it, because I have to stay here. I have to stay here. And I want you not to talk to cops. I don't want you to talk to cops. I don't want you to speak to police. Because remember, if they can arrest you for anything, then that means that anything that you say can and will be used against you. You can't talk to cops. So I want everybody to have the trifold. You can get it on deletelaws.com. You can get the download version for free. If you can afford it, please buy it. Even if you buy the digital download, please buy it. Please buy the hard copy if you can afford it. If you can't, there's free codes on every single one of my videos where you can download the digital download for free. So, but I do have to continue to raise funds, as I am going to be here until Monday. I'm going to miss Yunez's birthday in Dallas. I can't leave here. I can't leave here. And I got another case I got to get over to I want to get to Hot Springs and see if we can ban dogs as well as we ban cuffs. So, do I have any questions? Do I have any questions? Are there any questions? I want to make sure that I'm clear. I want to make sure that I answered any questions about Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, Terry versus Ohio. Okay, so now Graham versus Connor. I'm glad we went over this. The third case. So Atwater versus City of Lago Vista has to go. Way ahead of qualified immunity. The interaction starts when the cop can arrest you for any infraction. So it's not number one, Terry versus Ohio is number one, but number 2, 3, or 4 is Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. Number 2, 3, or 4 is Graham versus Connor. Graham versus Connor, the 1989 holding, is based on the reasonable officer on the scene will determine the appropriate amount of force to use on you. So, and the actual holding says that the reasonable officer on the scene. How can you be reasonable when you are the subject of the stop? When I just got in Fouch's face, he now becomes the subject of the interaction. He's not the objective third party. So Graham versus Connor is false on its face. It's fake. So, but that with Terry versus Ohio, the policy of officer safety coming above your life, your liberty, and your rights, you lose all your rights to be free in your person because of the combination of Terry versus Ohio and Graham versus Connor. As a matter of fact, in the Terry era documentary, the #1 video on my page, when you open it up, it says Graham plus Terry equals death, because they can walk up to you and investigate you because they have the right to investigate you based on their suspicion, which is preposterous. And then in the name of officer safety, Graham versus Connor, once they start to investigate you, the cop on the scene will determine the appropriate amount of force to use on you. And then the policy of officer safety for Terry is to put you in torture cuffs immediately because they're scared. That's why you keep hearing cops are scared, because of the 1989 holding of Graham versus Connor, which is well documented in the Terry era on this page. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Do I have any questions? Well, listen, I'm reading that pigs and judges equals injustice. Judge Kevin Waldo is open to communication. Judge Kevin Waldo is open to communicating. He has a very public Facebook page. He has a foundation for children. Okay? I'm just letting you guys know that Judge Waldo's open to communication. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And he's a good man when I looked in his face. He told me straight up, I try to make sure I don't send people to jail. I mean, Kevin was standing right there. He heard the judge say he wants to make sure, hey, Len, this is probably just the wrong place for you, brother. Bye, Len. So I don't have time. I don't have time. I got to stay here, though. So you guys do me a favor. If you want to support the channel, go to my website, Delete Laws with a Z. And not just for me to support me. You should have my digital trifold. you should have it. And you don't ever talk to cops. You point at your Fifth Amendment right. You should all have the digital trifold in your pocket, especially if you go face to face with cops. Everybody should have that digital trifold. I do not want you speaking to cops. And this goes back to Mark Wasserman and his shut the up. That's what he actually trademarked it. So I want to give all the credit to Mark Wasserman for that. But you need to shut the up when you talk to cops. Shut up. Show them the pamphlet. Show them the trifold. So please go to my website, Delete Laws. If you want to download the trifold for free and just print it out at home, the code is free trifold. And you do that at checkout. You get the digital trifold. When you go to checkout, put in the code free trifold, and that gets you my digital trifold for free. So you know. So that way, you know, you guys can get the trifold if you're living on a fixed income or you're unemployed. So I want to make sure everybody has it. But I recommend you get the indestructible paper and you order that off of my website. And that does a few things. That protects your rights and also supports what we're doing here, because we don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. I want to thank, if Judge Waldo watches this, I want to thank him for taking the time to meet with me this morning. And by the time I got there, I'd already had a face-to-face confrontation with Fauch, the coward, the wussy. Wussy. You're a wussy, Fauch. I'll meet you at the gym, bro, in a legal arena. Sign a waiver, because I'm going to choke the life out of you, brother. Your eyes are going to bulge out of your head. He won't meet me. Listen, he wrestled. He's got 2 cauliflower ears. He's just so fat and out of shape. He's not taking care of himself. So even if he's better than me in the 6th minute, he'll die. As far as like air in his lungs, as far as him being able to keep running hard. I got to be careful the words I say, because they say I'm threatening, which I'm not. I would not break the law. I would not attack somebody on the streets. But Fauch is one of those guys who's worth me being a little bit injured just to whoop his butt in the gym. In the gym, in a fair legal arena. Fauch, you're a punk, dude. What about the Blankenships? Any of you guys want to meet me in the gym? Just so I could pop you in the chin one time fairly and legally? Just so I can take a shot at you fairly and legally? You can take a shot at me too. A lot of cops do. Maybe you be the cop that can beat my ass. Show it. Put it on camera. We'll show it that you beat me up, bro. And you know, if you beat me up, which I'm not, a lot of people can kick my ass. You know what? I'll shake your hand. You can kick my ass. But let's do it, Fauci, wussy. So there it is. Fauci, and this is for Fauci girl. Hey, Fauci, this is your wake-up call. Your cheeks are so plump, bro. You got to get in shape. You can't be walking around like G.I. Joe loser and look like that, dude. You're so fat and out of shape, Fauci. You're so fat and out of shape. I guarantee you, brother, you can't run a mile. Fauci is so fat and out of shape. He's so fat and out of shape, it's incredible. So listen, I give you the trifold for free. For those of you who can buy it, please buy it. You have to stop talking to police. If Tim and Sarah had not spoken, they would not be in the position they're in today. The cops literally enjoyed listening to Sarah cry. They enjoyed listening to her cry. They said so. They said that they enjoyed listening to her cry. So, okay. Imagine being so sad and insecure you got to go on YouTube and feel like a man. I'm a man all the time, brother. And you know what? People can say what you want. I created a new third party. I'm running for governor. So it's so funny. People can talk about how they hate me and this and that. I'm standing up for your rights. For your rights, dude. You chump. All right. All right. All right. So listen, please, I got to stay here another week. I can't leave. I'm going to miss Yunez's birthday in Dallas, but I can't leave here. Her case is on Monday, and she doesn't have anybody helping her. She needs somebody to help her. She needs... the Mims case is an extension of Terry versus Ohio, where you have to get out of the car in the name of officer safety. Now, for them to Terry stop you on a Mims stop, which you guys heard me say to him, for them to Terry stop you when they pull you out of the car, the officer has to believe that you're both armed and dangerous. You're armed and dangerous. Okay? So that's the Mims holding, Pennsylvania versus Mims, 1976. 77. Because I believe it's 76. 1976 or 1977. Okay? Okay, so listen, appreciate you guys. I hate to leave you guys here. I reserve the right to go live again later if I can chase down one of these tyrants. Maybe I'll go by the police department and go talk to them. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks so much for your support. Please go buy Delete Laws, pick up my digital poster, my digital ebook, or the trifold. Please go pick that up. Please go pick it up. I'm giving it to you for free, so it's not just about capitalism. I want you not to talk to cops, and I want you to point on the trifold, your Fifth Amendment right. If they say, I smell marijuana, you point to this. If they say, let me talk, you show them that you don't have to let them talk. You don't have to be cop-splained to. You could shut your mouth, you dirty swine bucket. Okay? All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later, Gator.